Hi everyone! Today we're going to read part 2 of Global Warming by Seymour Simon. Glaciers and mountain snow covers are rapidly melting. Almost every glacier in Alaska is receding. A few decades ago, huge rivers of ice stretched over the land. Now hundreds of feet or sometimes miles of bare rock and soil are exposed. In 1963, the Mendenhall Glacier Visitor Center in Juneau opened, very close to the glacier. Today, it is a mile or more away from the frozen edge of the retreating glacier. In the 1950s, there were 150 glaciers in Montana. By 1968, there were 37. In 2008, there were fewer than 24. Glaciers that have lasted for thousands of years may be gone in 2 decades. The icy coverings on tall mountain peaks are also disappearing. Each year there is less snow remaining on the mountains during the summer. The snow melts earlier by a week or more in the spring, and snow falls later by a week or more in the autumn. As temperatures rise, the level of the oceans will rise. A recent study found that if average temperatures rise by 3 degrees Celsius or 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit, Greenland's enormous ice sheet will begin to melt and sea levels all over the world may rise by a half foot to 3 feet or more. This may happen over years or decades, or may take longer than a century. A 3-foot rise in sea level would swamp the Gulf Coast and every coast city from Boston to Miami. Rising waters would cover low-lying areas such as the Nile Delta and countries such as Bangladesh. Millions of people would be forced to move. The Arctic ice cap holds about 90% of the world's ice and about 70% of its fresh water. It does not look as if the entire ice cap will melt anytime soon, but if it does happen, sea levels would rise 20 or more feet. Now that would cause major flooding in coastal areas. Atmospheric warming can cause a rise in ocean temperatures and place coral reefs in jeopardy. Coral reefs are huge branching structures made of the limestone skeletons of tiny animals called coral polyps. Coral reefs are found in warm, clear, shallow oceans. They are home to many kinds of fishes, jellyfish, anemones, crabs, turtles, sea snakes, clams, and octopuses, and the algae that give the reefs their stunning colors. Most coral reefs are highly sensitive. Even small changes in water temperature and in the amount of carbon dioxide in the water can kill algae in a reef. When the coral dies, it bleaches white. In 1998, a weather pattern called El Niño warmed the seas. In just 1 year, about 1 in every 6 of the world's reefs was lost. If coral reefs die, then much of the animal life they support will be wiped out as well. Changing climate affects every ocean and every continent. Rising temperatures add heat, energy, and water vapor to the atmosphere. That can lead to heavier rainfalls and more powerful storms in some places, and long droughts in others. The changes will differ depending upon the location. Many tropical areas have greater rainfall, but in dry regions, even less rain may fall. Higher temperatures will cause the soil to dry up, and terrible droughts may ensue. Wildfires may increase in forested areas as timberlands grow drier. The fires are likely to be bigger and more frequent and to burn longer. They would also release more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and could lead to more warming. Climate changes are not as easy to notice as changes in the weather. For example, a particular storm or a number of warm days during a winter is not really evidence of anything. We can all see day-to-day weather changes, but climate changes are noticeable as well. Plants and animals are already showing the effects of Earth's warming. Cold places, such as the North and South Poles and mountaintops, have been the first to feel the heat. Spring has come earlier, the ice has melted sooner, and there are fewer days where the temperatures are below freezing. Many kinds of wildlife need the cold to survive. Some animals have adapted to the warmer weather by migrating to colder places, as the climate has warmed over the past century. The colorful checker spot butterfly of the American West has moved northward or to higher elevations. The checker spot butterfly has almost completely disappeared from its original home in Mexico and has adjusted to its new northern home in Canada. But not every animal can travel as easily. Scientists worry that crowding on mountaintops and colder places will cause some species to become extinct. We can't do anything about some changes in our environment. Our planet may be going through a natural cycle of getting warmer. However, most scientists say that humans are at least partly responsible for climate change. That means it may be possible for people to slow down the change. There is a debate about what we can do about our changing climate. Here's what people in some nations are trying to do. Improve fuel and energy economy so that people use less energy for vehicles, schools, offices, homes, and factories. Encourage the use of wind and solar power. Explore alternatives, ways of producing energies that do not directly release more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Protect and plant trees to increase forest lands. Nations and governments can do certain things to slow down dramatic climate changes. People can help too. They can choose to use less energy to heat and cool their houses or use less fuel when getting around. Here are some things we might consider. Walking, biking, or using public transportation. One school bus can carry the same number of children as 30 or more cars. Using sturdy, reusable bags for shopping and reusable cups and glasses is less wasteful than using disposable bags and cups. Taking short showers uses less energy than long showers. Planting a single tree can make oxygen for the lifetimes of 2 people. If 1 million trees are planted, the trees would eventually absorb more than 1 million tons of carbon dioxide. Here's what some families are doing to slow down rapid climate change. Using fans instead of air conditioners. They may set a house air conditioner slightly higher in the summer and slightly lower their heaters. They may lower a water heater's thermostat from hot to warm. Using energy-saving fluorescent light bulbs instead of incandescent light bulbs. Fluorescent light bulbs are more energy efficient and save on electricity cost. Turning off electrical appliances and lights when they are not being used. Installing double-paned windows, extra insulation, good weather stripping, and solar panels to house also saves energy. Global warming isn't just about the Arctic Ocean melting and distant deserts becoming drier and hotter. Climate change impacts all of us. It can affect the world's food supply and the economic stability of countries. The people and the governments of the world are developing the tools and the scientific know-how to meet these challenges. As Earth's climate continues to change, we all want to find ways to safeguard our own and future generations.